Titus is one of the standout heroes from the Ultramarines chapter within Warhammer 40k, but who really is he? It's important to have an idea of what the Ultramarines are all about because it really helps us unpack his lore much more effectively once we have that understanding. The Ultramarines, they're one of the most renowned Space Marine chapters within the Warhammer 40k universe. They are the Emperor's finest warriors. They're known for their strict adherence to the Codex Astartes. It's kind of like a set of rules and guidelines that govern the organisation and the tactics of the Space Marine chapters. With their iconic blue armour and gold trim, the Ultramarines, they embody honour, duty and tactical excellence. They hail from the planet Macragge and they're known for their courage and commitment to defending humanity against all threats. Within the Ultramarines, you then get the Second Company, and this is one of the key units, often called the Battle Company. This elite group is made up of highly trained Space Marines who are tasked with leading assaults and engaging in frontline combat during major conflicts. Each battle company, it typically operates under the command of a captain, and it consists of several squads of Space Marines, each with specialised roles. The Second Company, it has a storied history and has participated in numerous battles to protect the Imperium. Now, just a second ago, I mentioned that they hail from the planet Macragge, and this is important, especially when it comes to understanding the lore behind Titus. The Battle of Macragge, it's a significant event in the lore of Warhammer 40k. This battle took place during the First Tyrannic War. They're like a terrifying, hive-minded alien race. They launched a massive invasion against the Ultramarines' home planet, Macragge. The Tyranids are led by the Hive Fleet Behemoth, and they unleash their bio-engineered horrors upon the planet, overwhelming its defences and threatening the very existence of the Ultramarines. The Ultramarines were led by their chapter master, and they fought valiantly to defend their home, and despite their best efforts and bravery of the warriors, the Tyranids proved to be a relentless and overpowering force. The battle was fierce. Many Ultramarines were falling in combat. The planet itself suffered devastating damage as the Tyranids, they just tore straight through its cities and landscapes like so easily. Ultimately, the Ultramarines, they did manage to rally and push back against the Tyranid threat, but not without significant losses, including the death of many of their elite warriors. The aftermath of the battle, it left the chapter reeling as they had to rebuild from the horrific toll taken by the invaders. The battle would go down in history as one of the most critical moments for the Ultramarines and the Imperium, and it highlighted the ever-present threat that's posed by the Tyranids. Now, back to Titus. Once upon a time, it looked like he was on track to become the greatest of them all until a twist of fate led him to become exiled and presumed dead for many years. But guess what? He's back in the era of Indomitus, and he's ready to team up with his battle brothers and aim for the top once more. Titus started his journey as a lieutenant in the Ultramarines' Second Company. It's a pretty big deal because he really had to prove himself through serious service before reaching that rank. He quickly made a name for himself, even serving as captain before his exile. He was born on the agri world of Tarentus, where he was handpicked as a promising youth, and he went on to become a decorated warrior. When the Hive Fleet Behemoth invaded during the First Tyrannic War, Titus was actually away from Macragge, but he quickly returned to help his brothers in arms. After the dramatic events of the Battle for Macragge, the chapter had to rebuild, and Titus was honoured to serve under Captain Trajan as part of a rejuvenated Second Company. Throughout his time, Titus developed a unique fighting style. He would focus on learning directly from his Xenos enemies instead of relying solely on reports. He fought alongside Captain Trajan for nearly a century, gaining respect and admiration for his selfless dedication to the chapter. However, after a fierce battle against the Eldari, tragedy struck when Captain Trajan was killed in an ambush. Titus took command, leading the charge to driving the aliens from Beta Arcturus. His bravery and leadership, it earned him a permanent promotion to captain after they returned to Macragge. Titus faced more challenges, including a long period in the custody of Inquisitor Thrax. In a nutshell, Jerome Thrax he's an Inquisitor Ordinary who served for over something like 400 years. He's a member of the Ordo Malleus, and he was trained by the legendary demon hunter Inquisitor Faust. But what's the Ordo Malleus? The Ordo Malleus is one of 3 major divisions in the Inquisition. It's tasked with combating the threats of chaos and the war. This order specifically focuses on the dangers posed by demons, heretics, and the corruptive influence of chaos within the galaxy. Inquisitors of the Ordo Malleus often employ extreme measures to root out these threats, including interrogation and at times torture, believing that any means are justified just to protect humanity. They are known for their ruthlessness and their unwavering commitment to the Emperor's will, often seen as the Emperor's most zealous and fearsome agents. And when Titus displayed an unusual resistance to the corrupting powers unleashed During the invasion of Graia, Thrax saw an opportunity to probe deeper. He believed that Titus's resilience could reveal valuable insights into the nature of the warp and possibly secrets behind the power source Titus had encountered. Unfortunately, this led Thrax to subjecting Titus to severe torture and brutal mind trawls in an attempt to uncover the truth. And despite enduring these harrowing experiences, Titus remained steadfast and true to his Ultramarine identity, and this really comes through in Amazon Prime's secret level. After spending more than a century in Thrax's custody, Titus ultimately found himself in the service of the Death Watch. Wait, what's the Death Watch? It's a specialized organization within the Adeptus Astartes, and it formed as an elite task force to combat the most dangerous Xenos threats in the Imperium. It's made up of select Space Marines from various chapters. The Death Watch operates as a multinational unit, gathering the best and the brightest from the Emperor's finest warriors to tackle specific missions against alien species that threaten humanity. Each member of the Death Watch is known as a Death Watch Marine, and they wear this black armor adorned with the insignia of their home chapter, symbolizing their commitment to the greater cause beyond their own. Death Watch Marines, they're often tasked with the reconnaissance, extermination of Xenos threats, and the recovery of vital intelligence. They are experts in dealing with the varied and unique tactics of alien foes, making them some of the most formidable forces in the Imperium. Their motto, "We stand as one," reflects their unity and purpose, showcasing the collaborative spirit that binds them together in their mission to protect humanity from the alien threats lurking in the galaxy. After spending more than a century in Thrax's custody, Titus ultimately found himself in the service of the Death Watch, taking on a new name, and he dedicated himself to the fight against Xenos, leveraging his extensive experience and knowledge to become a deadly alien hunter. His time with the Death Watch allowed him to hone his skills even further as he engaged in countless battles against some of the most dangerous foes the Imperium faces. But his story doesn't end there. When the tyrannies of the Hive Fleet Levithian began their invasion, fate brought Titus back to the fold. After a fierce battle, he was saved by the Ultramarines, and he underwent the Calgarian rites to become a Primaris Space Marine, emerging stronger than ever. The Calgarian rites, they're a series of sacred and elaborate rituals that are performed to initiate a Space Marine into the ranks of the Primaris Astartes, a new generation of Space Marines created to sort of bolster the Imperium's defences, named after their chapter master Marinus Calgar, who played a pivotal role in their development. These rites may involve a combination of advanced medical procedures, genetic enhancements, and spiritual ceremonies designed to enhance the physical and mental capabilities of the candidate. During the Calgarian rites, the Space Marine undergoes rigorous transformation processes, including the implementation of new organs and enhancements that grant them greater strength, speed, and resilience. This metamorphosis is not just physical, though. It also serves to reinforce their loyalty to the Emperor and their chapter. The rites are a deeply honoured tradition within the Ultramarines, symbolising rebirth and renewed commitment to their sacred duty in the service of mankind. Now reunited with the Ultramarines, Lieutenant Titus is ready to unleash the might of his chapter against the enemies of the Imperium. With his rich history, deep knowledge of alien tactics, and his newfound strength, he stands poised to reclaim his place amongst the greatest heroes of the Ultramarines. And ultimately, whether he's leading the Second Company into battle or taking on the deadliest Xenos threats in the galaxy, there's no doubt that Titus will continue to make his mark on the Warhammer 40k universe, and as he puts it himself, only in death does duty end.